All right, hey guys. So today was my first day of school. That is awesome. I'm really excited, as you can tell, because it was a great day. So what happened first? My first, the first thing I did when I got there was I waited with a couple of my friends, just because what would you do when you get to school first? You'd find some friends. And so I sat with two of my friends that I had sat with maybe last year, in a junior year, because I'm a senior. Um, and so I sat with them and we talked and um, we went over like what classes we had, of course. I told them what I had, and of course I'm the only one that didn't have senior release. Everybody else had a senior release that I talked to. That was a senior, of course, because juniors can't do that. That doesn't happen for juniors. Um, and so yeah, and then I met some other people that I knew, which was great. The first day you're just like, do I know anybody? Will I know anybody? My class is going to be boring, I'm going to have a bad teacher. So it was glad that before school that I had seen people that I knew. So when I went to my first class, I was really excited because I'd heard from my now college friends, because they were seniors last year, that my teacher was an awesome teacher. And I was really excited because the thing for me this year is that I want the teachers to be more enthusiastic about the class than I am, because I'm going to be really enthusiastic about the certain classes that I'm taking. For example, like I'm taking AP biology. Like I love biology. I'm actually going to double major in Spanish and biology for college. So I really love biology. That's what I hope to do, later on in life, as a career. So, um, and thankfully, some of these teachers do love their jobs, which is great. I mean, sometimes you just have teachers who just don't, and that they just take it for money, and that's just, you have to kind of have that impetus, that incentive, to do your job. you know Hopefully you love the job that you're doing. You don't want to be, get a degree in, say, you know science, educational science or something, and then do a class in like maybe like math, like a math base. You just don't want to. You want to have the interest that you're teaching to be like what you have that you like. I guess I'm trying hard to explain it, but it's harder. Um, but yeah, so I'm really excited because this teacher is like really into her class or whatever, and so I, you know, my luck. I get into the class and I'm like, oh, hey, everybody, like, I know some people in there. And I'm like, oh, great, I have friends that I know already in my class. But then the bell rings and everybody leaves. That was 0 hour, the hour that came before me, because people can come earlier. They call it 0 hour. But I have regular time. So um, they came in earlier, and then I was left all alone in the classroom by myself. Thankfully, I'd already talked to the teacher when I came in, um, and so we, hit it off. I don't know, explain that, but, um, she was like, "Yeah, I'm ready, excited to have you in my class or whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, me too. I heard you're a really good teacher or something." Um, and so when she put up the list of the kids that she's gonna have in her class, you know, it's my name's not on there, pretty much. So she told me, hey, go down to the office and we'll do that for you. We'll figure out what's happening. Um, and so I went down, and then apparently they had changed my schedule without telling me. Apparently there was an email that got sent out, but my parents either didn't get it or they forgot to tell me that I had a different schedule. So I ended up going to my AP Spanish literature class, which is great. I love the teacher. She's really nice. She's really talkative. I'm really talkative. She's really funny. And so, in all my classes, I think I have friends that I already knew and then friends that I made also. Um, and so I'm really glad that I got, a Spanish teacher. Like, she's really into Spanish. I don't know if she's like a native speaker, but she, at least learned it well enough, of course. She's Latina, so I don't really know her, origin or whatever. I don't really care too much anyway. But I hopefully she's a good teacher. That's what I want. And so after that, this girl in my class, I'm not gonna like to say her name, whatever. But thankfully, she had the class after me, like second period, I guess. Her second period was my second period, so I just followed her to our period. So that was great. Um, and the new English teacher that I had got from the schedule change, her name, oh, I'm not gonna say her name, but she's really excited. She's really into like literature. It's AP English literature, and she's really book smart. I'm sure she's really into words. She said her favorite app on her phone is dictionary.com, which I can totally empathize with because I look up words pretty much every day. So I'm just a nerd like that. But um, and so that was great. I totally agreed with everything she said because that's pretty much me too. But yeah, I told her, I'm so excited for your class. Like when everybody left, I talked to her like, wow, like I see a good future for us. Or just in general, like the class. I'm just gonna love it. So, and then I went to choir, which is great. Doing choir. I didn't know some of the juniors that were coming in, but I'm trying to learn their names as best as I can. But it looks like it's gonna be a good year. There's some good kids. I'm really happy about that. And I get to see, some of the girls because last year the girls in my grade weren't in my class because it was the guys, all of the guys in one period, but also added with the girls that were seniors at the time, and I was a junior at the time, so it was the people above me. But thankfully, I had a lot of friends who were a grade above me. Um, and so after that, I had syncopation, which is my school's jazz choir, which is awesome. I was so excited. We came in with a new song called Under Pressure, I think by Queen. I'm not sure. Freddie Mercury, something around. And so I'm super excited for it because the basses get the dum 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 da 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 dum 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 da 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 dum, and that's that's the basis of the song. It's kind of like Ice Ice Baby, but you know not because it's a totally different song. But I'm so excited for that class. I really am. And then I had lunch, which at first I was like, I don't know anybody right now because I sat with a lot of my senior friends. Oh, that's a lot better lighting. Okay. I sat with a lot of my senior friends last year because I was a junior. I made a lot of friends with the seniors, um, and of course they had all left for college by this point. And so I was, when I got my tray for after lunch, I got a lunch line or whatever. I looked for anybody that I could sit next to, um, and I, I saw another junior friend, thank God, and so I sat down with her, um, and that worked out for me. I could, have somebody to sit next to. And so thankfully later on, more of my friends came and they saw me and they're like, "Oh, hey, Lance," and I'm like, "Oh, hey, what's your name?" or whatever. Um, and so I, just found more people that I liked and struck up conversations left and right, learned people's names, because there's some new juniors that I had never seen before, but I'm willing to make friends with them for sure. Um, and so after lunch, that was great. I ate all my food, whatever. I was super hungry because I had a really small breakfast. After lunch came statistics AP, um, and the teacher there, she seems really strict, but I'm not sure. Behind the scenes that may be like a facade. Because maybe she's not as strict. But she kind of puts up the thing. In the beginning of the year. Some teachers do that. Um, and I personally don't like strict teachers. I like really enthusiastic, really like kind of easygoing. More like creative teachers. Um, but um, the the class statistics that's more not it's not necessarily like a math class. Um, it's more like gray area. It's not like 2 + 2 = 4. It's more like 2 plus another number around 7 is a number around 10 ish. So I like that because I'm all about gray areas. I'm not about like black and white. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Um, and so yeah, I did those. She talked about how she teaches, her rules or whatever, and I don't like, rules too much, but um, you know, you got to do what the teacher says, of course. That's just how school works. Um, but yeah, then she seemed like a nice teacher. She was like the cheerleading coach or something. I don't know for sure exactly, but she's qualified. She got her degree in mathematics, so I think she also got a graduate degree, which is really cool. Because I hope to get a graduate degree too. So, um, but then after that came biology AP, which is two classes, two periods, and so it takes up a lot of your schedule. But thankfully, I took um, e-school, government, and economics, because those are federally mandated classes that you have to take in general. And so taking those classes allowed me to take biology AP, which I love because I love biology. I love people, animals, plants, the earth, the geosciences. Um, and so I was really excited about the class. And she's great. Like, she's really enthusiastic about the class, and that's my thing. I want the teacher to be more enthusiastic about the class than I am because I took these classes for a reason. That's why I didn't take senior release. All these other kids are just like, we're out, and I'm like, I actually want to learn some of these classes, so that's why I'm not taking senior release. But yeah, she's super enthusiastic, which is great because, like I said, I am super enthusiastic about all these classes because I want to take these classes. Um, and so what I well, she would talk or whatever, go on about like first day stuff, like how to sign into certain things, class rules, guidelines, safety. And whenever there's something I agreed with, of course, I would like say yeah, okay, cool, head nod or whatever. And that's just how I do things. Um, but then like whenever she asked like questions or something, or like just anything, I would usually be the first person to answer, just because I know a lot about the class. In general, I've studied biology probably my whole life. I don't know, just here and there, research and stuff. Because I'd previously taken um, AP Environmental Science the year before, my junior year, I guess. And I knew a lot of stuff about like maybe like biochemistry because that was part of the curriculum of AP Environmental Science. And so I kind of already know some of this stuff, and also I take some information back from the previous years of science that you had to do. You took biology and chemistry and all this stuff. Albeit honors, in those classes, but not AP, But I knew some of the stuff and I remembered it. Um, and we did this like balloon lab kind of, like a simulation, I guess, of an experiment that would go on. And so the balloon, like there were three balloons, so she wanted us to figure out, okay, which one's hydrogen, which one's helium, and which one's just regular air that she took, from the environment, I guess. And so I answered first. What would we do? She asked, what would you do if you wanted to figure out, which one's which? And so I mentioned to her, okay, I know hydrogen is flammable, so if we had some kind of thing, I put that out there. I didn't want anyone to get hurt or anything. Safety requirements for sure. That's, you always want to be safe. Um, so I told her that, very cautiously, like I don't want her to, actually get out of flame because I didn't want anyone to get hurt or anything at it. And I didn't think that she would also, get out of a fire, but it ended up happening actually. And so I told her that, and I told her helium, if we bit through the balloon and someone, inhaled the gas, then if it was helium, their pitch of their voice would be higher. And they just need to talk, and then we could tell, okay, that guy just inhaled helium. Um, and so she's like, what's wrong with that? Like, that's not really what the teachers would want. That's not like, college material, like, opening the balloon and sucking in air for helium, you know, that's not really like, I guess, AP level thinking, but whatever. I knew, that's what I would have done, and so some other kids in the other class talked about, like density or volume and all this stuff, and I know what that is, but I'm not really into chemistry as much, so I wouldn't, say that, off the top of my head for sure. Um, but we ended up actually using, a flame and heating one of the balloons that we knew was either hydrogen or helium, because the one that was on the ground was, of course, the regular air, because it's the same density all around. Um, and so we heated it up with. She had another helper or whatever. She had the fire extinguisher. He had the flame or whatever. But he used like a really long rod or whatever stick or meter stick, I guess. And he, lit it up. I guess. Well, there was a match like attached to it, or not a match, but like a safety lighter attached to it. Um, and so what he did was he heated up, and at first I was like, oh, okay. Whenever she brought up the three balloons, I'm like, oh, I don't really like balloons popping as much. That sound kind of scares me a little bit, whatever. Um, and that's what ended up happening. It was helium, of course, because when we heated it up, it didn't catch a fire. It just exploded because the particles in the gas were excited, I guess, by the thermal energy. That sounds really, I guess nerdy, but that's what I've remembered from, physics or chemistry that I've taken before. Um, but yeah, of course, particles move faster when they're heated. Um, and so the balloon, of course, popped and, gave us all a fright, I guess. And so you knew that was helium and not hydrogen because the hydrogen balloon would have, catched fire. It would have been a flame. Um, and so that's how we knew which one was which. I didn't think that we'd, be using fire, on our first day of school because, you know, you think there would be like, more steps to go, through before you got to fire. I just assumed that, the first day they wouldn't really give us, a flame, but they did. Which is cool, Um, but I just didn't think that would happen the first day. But I'm really excited. We're going to be doing a cat dissection, um, and I've done dissections maybe like two before, um, just in school, I guess, summer school. Um, um, and I've also, I've hunted before. I'm just gonna say, I've hunted deer, and so I've kind of eviscerated animals before, and so I know the anatomy kind of well. I know what a stomach looks like. I know what the intestines looks like. The liver. I know what a lot of the big things look like inside of an animal, which is kind of weird to think about. But after you've looked at it before, you kind of remember where certain things go, I guess. And the human anatomy is kind of close to that, so you kind of know where some organs or things would be inside of the human body also. Sorry, that was a little educational, but I that's just what I knew. So, but I'm really excited for biology. I've just been doing studying and research into biology ever since I was little. So I know that I'm really gonna like this class. And I hope to do well on the AP test. That's how you get college credit. It was through AP tests, doing well in those. Um, and so I really just hope that um, I just do well. I really do. Um, because that means I can, do more research, do more, class time with biology, which is so cool to me. It really is. Um, but yeah, that was my whole day. Like I had a really cool day. Some people were like kind of scared. Like I was just like enthusiastic about it. I was ready when I woke up. I was like, I'm gonna get some clothes on. You know, deodorant, all that, whatever. I just went for it. I got it. I'm just like, I'm ready. When you guys are ready, because I leave with my brothers. I have twin brothers, and so whenever they're ready, I'm ready. And so we left as soon as you know, as soon as they could, because I was already ready for school. which sounds kind of nerdy also, but let's be real, I'm kind of a nerd. That's just it. So, but yeah, I just had the best time today. I hope that every day is like this, and I know it's not going to be, but there's going to be more stress. There's going to be more tests. There's going to be more projects, more deadlines. But today was a pretty good day for the first day. It really was. I think I like all my teachers, which is the first time that I've ever said that for any class. Maybe except for elementary school when you had one teacher the whole year. Um, but I'm just so excited for this year. It's gonna be a really fun year. Um, okay, so sorry that was kind of long. I thought it was 20 minutes. You don't have to read through all that or look through all that. That was just my day. I kind of cataloged it for myself. Um, I just kind of wanted to get my ideas and feelings about the first day of my senior year down. Um, and that's what I did. I just, that was my whole day. Um, but yeah, if you like that, like, of course, comment, um, saying what your first day was like, and I'll be answering comments. Um, maybe not all the negative comments, but the positive comments for sure I'll get to. Um, but yeah, that was my first day of school. I hope you guys like that. Um, I just want to be able to look back at this. This is my first day of my senior year, um, and it really was a great day. I'm really happy about it. Um, so yeah, I guess I'll see you guys soon. Whenever a new video comes up, hopefully I'll have another one this week. Um, but we're just gonna see, where school takes us. You know. All right, I guess I'll see you guys soon. It was great talking to you, I guess. So